This is Angela, here with today's wisdom. It wasn't working for a second, and I didn't understand that one. Today's wisdom comes from Daily Ohm. Nothing big required. You are enough. And I had two people in my life growing up that ever said that to me. Everyone else that I grew up around was very picky, and nothing I ever did was good enough, and I never looked good enough, and it was a problem. And eventually, when I got into my mid-30s, I realized that it was enough, and other people could, go jump off a, lake, into a lake, and off of a pier, short pier, and that they had really impacted my life, and that I felt I had no self-esteem and felt really bad about myself because they were telling me these things about myself, but I knew they weren't true about myself. But because when people keep telling you this, especially your parents or family members, you start to believe it yourself. And you start to think, well, maybe I should be doing this or that, and it's not you. And you realize that's just not me. And I don't know why they think it's me, but, everyone has their own lens they look through, and sometimes people's lens is colored by their experience. So, sometimes you have to kind of ignore what other people say, especially if you feel like they're saying negative, destructive things to you. Most of us have the feeling that we are here to accomplish something big in our lives. And if we haven't done something that fits the bill, we may feel as if we are waiting. And you don't necessarily have to accomplish anything big. A lot of people live normal lives. You should accomplish what you want to accomplish. Even if that's just, having your house clean every day. Mine is not. I'm sure you can notice that looking around. I try to dust once a week, but it doesn't always happen because we don't have central heat or central air. So the dust around here doesn't get sucked into vents. It just blows around here. So, there's a lot of dust, and most things are pretty dusty around here. We may feel incomplete or empty, as if our lives don't yet make sense to us, because they don't line up with our idea of major accomplishment. And any accomplishment that you set out to do, that you achieve, that is an accomplishment. Set a goal for yourself, and when you achieve that goal, celebrate that, because that is an accomplishment, whether other people think it is or not. In some cases, this may be because we really are meant to do something that we haven't yet done. And sometimes that's true, but not always. But in most cases, we can let ourselves off the hook with the realization that just being here, being ourselves, is enough. I've met people in my teaching and coaching where they even get jealous of you when you're talking about stuff. And it's like, no, you need to be the best you that you can be. Don't try to be me. Don't try to emulate me. We all have role models, and if I'm a role model, that's okay. That's fine. But you need to be you. You need to put your spin on things and come from your experiences. You can't just copy me and expect, that's going to work for you. Because it's not gonna. You're you. You have to put your own spin on things and do things your way that works for you. And that's the problem, sometimes when I see these people teaching the best way to do this, that, or other. Because everyone's different. And I'd rather tell you something that you can apply to your life than try to say you have to do it this way, because that might not work for you. Because everybody's different. As we live our lives in this world, we share our energy and our spirit with the people around us in numerous ways. And we do. And, if you've ever hung around someone for a while and you start talking like them or saying things, use words they use that you didn't use before that, that's true. Our influence touches their lives, and through them, touches the lives of many more people. Like I say, everyone is a drop in the bucket. We all put out ripples. I don't know what's going on. A little itchy right here. Hopefully, no bugs that come down off the lamp. That's happened before. But, we do influence others, whether we want to or not. When we strive to live our lives to the fullest and to become our true selves, we are doing something big on an inner level. And that is more than enough to make sense of our being here on this planet at this time. We all have something to contribute. Whether you think it's a big enough contribution or not, clearly you're here, so God must think you're making a contribution of some sort. There is no need to hold ourselves to an old idea in the back of our minds that we need to make headlines or single-handedly save the world in order to validate our existence, which certainly you don't. And sometimes, you might not want to make headlines. Not all headlines are good, as we read, on a daily basis. And no one could honestly single-handedly save the world but Jesus, so, that's not your job. We can each look within our hearts to discover what is true for us, what gives our lives meaning, and what excites us. Because like I said, everybody's different. What is right for one person is not right for the next guy. What is right for them is not right for the guy after that. So, you need to fit what's right for you. It's good to have mentors, and there's people who like they say, if you want to succeed, find someone who's done it and then copy them. Well, to an extent, that's true. But like I said, you can't do everything exactly the way they do. You need to put your own self into it, or it's not going to work for you. We can release ourselves from any pressure to perform that comes from outside of our inner sense of purpose. And I've had many people suggest, you should do this, you should, and I'm like, no, that's not right for me. I don't want to. So, there was someone the other day, and I'm thinking it was probably a scam, but they were wanting me to go coach some women or something like that, but they had a link for me, and I'm like, nah, that sounds scammy to me. But, staying in tune with our own values and living our lives in tune with our own vision is all we need in order to fulfill our time here. And that's the truth. You know what you want out of your life, and if you don't, maybe that's something that you need to figure out. You can think about when you were a kid, what you wanted to do, what you were good at in school, and draw a plan from there. If you really have no idea, you can go talk to a coach, you can talk to a therapist, and just get your life together. Our lives are a process of becoming, so that we cannot help but co-create. And that's true. You become a student, you become a graduate, you become a worker, you become a parent, you become an empty nester, and on and on. Being who we are, responding to each moment as it comes, we can trust that this is enough. And it is. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to be a New York Times best-selling author, but if you want to, go for it. You don't have to have your art in the galleries and sell it for a big one, but if you want to, go for it. You don't have to write songs and things, but if you want to, go for it. You don't have to be the next best dancer, but if you want to, go for it. You don't have to be the world-famous actor, but if you want to, go for it. So, whatever you want to do. If you want to study quantum physics, you want to study astronomy, whatever you want to do. You know what's right for you. And like I say, if you don't, it's probably time to find that out. But nothing big is required of you. You're not competing with anyone. I hate that the world has become so competitive and people feel like they're competing with each other. And, I've talked to people like that, and it's like they're trying to always one-up you or above you, or, like they're worse. Like if you talked about health, theirs is worse, and that's competitive behavior. And it's like they're always trying to one-up you, and you're like, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. I'm not trying to play one-up. And I hate that you're playing one up, so I'm just going to move on to something else. Because, that's not how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be competing with each other. And that's a problem that my husband and I talked about in couples therapy. Because that was the thing. He was always trying to put down what I was doing and say his was better. And, the therapist was like, you're not in competition. You're not in a competition here. You're supposed to be in a relationship, not a competition. So if you take that competing thing out, that will help a lot. Because, no one likes to feel like that. So if that's a behavior you are guilty of, time to stop that. But realize you are enough. You are the only one that can satisfy the meaning of your life. You don't have to compete with anyone else. You shouldn't compete with anyone else. And there are guys in the workplace climbing the ladder who'll tell you different than that, but they're wrong. They're going to end up alone and burnt out and having heart attacks, in their 40s. So that's how they're going to end up. So just remember that. Think about it. Please like and share this wisdom so we can spread it around the world. Thanks for watching. If you want to help me out, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to help me out even more, go to my Patreon page and become a patron. That's all for now. Until next time.